Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we discuss all things financial literacy. And today I'll be giving you 9 banks that will approve a brand new LLC, $50,000 in business funding without any proof of income. And this will be an update to last year's video with some new banks and cards being added. In total, I have access to around $452,700 in business credit between all 9 banks. And that breaks down to roughly $50,300 per bank. So if you're brand new to the channel, do me a favor, drop a comment below, introduce yourself. I try my best to respond to everyone who comments because I want you to know you're not just a viewer, but you're a part of a community of like-minded individuals, and we're all trying to achieve the exact same goal. Every credit card and bank I'm going to discuss today, I've personally been approved for. You can go back through my video catalog and find each video when I was approved, as well as any data points if you want any specifics. So just know anything I discuss on this channel, I've done it or I'm currently in the process of doing it in real time. If you've been with me since the beginning of the channel, then you know I repaired my own credit. I documented that process of how I did that. And if anyone wants to replicate exactly what I did, check out my credit repair playlist. It's down in the description. And then for all the credit cards that we're going to discuss today, you can check my business credit playlist that is also in the description. Now, without further ado, let's get right into the video. From January 2024 to now July of 2025, I have been approved for all of these cards that you see here. So that's going to be the Sam's Club Business MasterCard, a $25,000 limit with a PG. The no PG card is no longer offered. There's the Wells Fargo Business Credit Card, the Signify card. I have that one with a $5,000 limit. The GM Marcus Barclays card, I've been approved for that one with an $8,000 limit. Before it was Goldman Sachs, but now it has been transferred to Barclays. I have the Amex Blue Cash card with a $10,000 limit. The Amex Amazon Biz card with a $12,000 limit, the Amex Platinum Charge card with a $100,000 pay over time limit, the Amex Plum Charge card with a $100,000 pay over time limit, the Chase Ink Cash Unlimited and Premier, $10,000 on all of those, the Navy Federal Go Biz Rewards card, $25,000, the State Farm US Bank card, $8,000, the business version, of course, Associated Bank, $8,000, the Wyndham Biz card from Barclays, $1,700, First Citizens, a $10,000 card, Amex Biz Delta, $10,000 for the card limit. Then I also have 2 American Express Gold Charge cards with $50,000 in pay over time limit on each of them, which brings us to a total of $152,700, and that's going to be for the credit limit. And then for the pay over time limit, it's $250,000 for a combined total of $452,700. Now, if we divide that by 9, we'll get an average of $50,300 per bank. Now, I was able to accomplish this in honestly 8 months, not including the time it took me to repair my credit. And you can go back to my previous video. I had access to similar limits almost a year ago. Since then, I've added some credit limit increases. I added a few more cards, but for the most part, all of this was done in around 8 months. I went from a $200 secured card with Navy Federal. That's where I was in January of 2024. I did work on my personal credit for about 17 months prior to this. Like a lot of people during COVID time, I leveraged my credit the wrong way. I was just way over leveraged and I ruined my personal credit. That left me with a lot of debt and I didn't do anything personal credit related for 1 year. And it took me around 17 months to completely clean up everything on my credit profile. So I would say in total, it took around 29 months for this whole process to be completed. So when I tell people that I've been through it, trust me, I've really done it. And all of this is documented on this channel. So most of you have watched this play out in real time if you've been subscribed to the channel since its inception. And again, you can watch all these videos back, play it out as many times as you want to, but I did it so I can definitely speak to it. And if you guys have noticed, more of my content has been around building a profitable cash flowing business and the mindset it takes to create wealth. And I've been doing this based on comments that I've gotten. I think for a lot of people, they get frustrated very easily because things don't work as quickly as they would like. However, even if you have bad credit, that's no excuse for not being successful. That's no excuse for not making money. For me personally, no matter what my situation is, bad credit, good credit, I'm going to always be successful because of information, determination, and consistency. Because the more I learn, the more I realize that I actually don't need to leverage credit in order to make money. It's a good tool, but it's not the end all be all. Credit will extend your reach, but I don't rely on it anymore. So just know I have plenty of videos that show you how to make money without using credit cards. And not only that, I have everything out for free. It's just all really valuable information. If you're watching this video and all you came for was to get the cards and the limits, then you can screenshot this. And if you want to just watch videos on all of these cards and the data points that it takes to get approved, you can go ahead and screenshot this now. And again, I have all of these cards in a playlist, but I'm going to go ahead and move on to what it takes to actually get approved for each and every one of these cards if you want to replicate this process. Now let's talk about something that gets overlooked far too often in terms of business credit and structuring your business. Believe it or not, if your business is not set up the right way from day one, you could be denied for credit even if your personal credit score is flawless. Now I know a lot of people out there try to downplay this step. There are people that will tell you that as long as your personal credit score is strong, you'll be approved. I've seen it, I've heard it, but here's what I know for certain. That is not true. When we talk about business structuring, we're not just talking about filing an LLC with your state. That's just your starting point. Structuring your business means building an entire identity around your company. Your business needs to look, feel, and operate like it's its own person. Think of it like this. You're not just building a business, you're building a persona that banks, lenders, credit bureaus, and search engines can recognize and trust. That means your business needs an Experian business credit profile. You should also have an Equifax business credit profile, and you should work to establish a PayDex score by doing business with vendors and Net 30 accounts that report to Dun & Bradstreet. But that's just the business credit side. Now, I have an entire video that shows you how to start a business from scratch and how to structure your business. And I also have one that shows you how to structure your personal credit profile to get maximum business funding. Your business needs to have a legitimate online presence. And that means having a website, having a domain name, not just a free site, but something that looks very official. You need to have a business phone number. You need to have a business address, preferably not your home address. And it needs to be listed in the 411 directory, as well as a professional business email. All of this matters because it makes your business easy to find. If a lender types in your business name into Google, they should be able to find your website, your contact information, and some type of digital footprint without any issue. And if they pull your credit profile from Dun & Bradstreet or Experian Business, there should be something there to see. This is what it means to have a structured business. And I can tell you from direct experience, structuring your business can make or break your chances of getting approved. I've worked with people both through business coaching and through this channel who have had great personal credit. They applied for a business credit card and they were denied. Why? Because their business could not be located. For example, take the GM business card from Marcus. That card is now backed by Barclays. However, when it was backed by Goldman Sachs, several people that I coached applied for this and they were denied, not because of bad credit, but because the lender couldn't verify that their business even existed. The rejection reason literally stated the business could not be located. Now I applied for the GM Marcus card with a brand new business and I got approved. I got approved because from day one, I had everything in place. I had my website, I had the phone number, I had Net 30 accounts reporting to business credit bureaus. I had the right address from the moment I formed my business, and I did all of this on day one. So my business didn't just exist on paper, it existed in the real world, in search engines, in credit databases, and in verification tools that a lot of lenders use. And that really made all the difference in the world. US Bank is another one. That's an institution that takes business structuring very seriously. If they can't verify your business, they will deny you, regardless of how perfect your credit score is. And you might say, well, Steven, not all banks require that. And you're absolutely right. There are some credit cards like American Express business credit cards, Chase credit cards, and even certain products from Wells Fargo that don't weigh business structuring as heavily in the decision-making process. But those are the exceptions, not the rule. And let's say you can sneak by without structuring right now. Eventually, I've said this throughout several videos, you will hit a wall. Because when you want real funding, when you want a business line of credit, when you want term loans or an SBA loan that offers 6 figures in capital, you will need way more than just good personal credit. You will need a business that looks fundable. So to keep this simple, I just gave a formula at the top that you can see right here. Structured business plus good personal credit equals business funding. That's the formula. There's no getting around it. I highly recommend you follow it. Now, before we go any further, I want to talk about personal guarantees and I want to clear something up. People ask me all the time, is there any business credit card I can get without using my personal credit? And I tell them this every time: you will not find a no PG business credit card that you can get without having some type of revenue to show from your business. The Sam's Club Business MasterCard and the Sam's Club Business Store card was the only true no PG credit card, and it is no longer available. There are other options like Ramp, like Revenued, and like the Bill Divvy credit card that you can apply for. But for each of those cards, you should have at least $25,000 in your business checking account for them to approve you. So if you want to check that out, I have a video about the top 3 EIN only business credit cards. You can watch that video, and if you can meet the requirements, then you can apply for those. And again, I know a lot of people hate hearing this part. The moment they hear personal guarantee, their eyes roll, they check out, they're upset. And I know whoever those people are, they aren't upset with me or the personal guarantee. They're frustrated because of the fact that it's a requirement. And I get that, like I really do. But I want to clarify something with you, and I want you to understand why you actually need to have a personal guarantee. At least for me, when someone clarifies information to help me understand why something is happening, it does make it a little easier for me to accept and then just deal with it. The primary reason banks require a personal guarantee is simple. They just want to reduce the risk of default. So let's be real for 1 second. If your company that has never made money at all goes under and can't repay a credit card balance or a loan, the personal guarantee gives lenders a backup plan. It gives them someone they can legally hold responsible. Because if you walk into a bank and ask them for $100,000 for your brand new business that has never made any money at all, you never file taxes, you have no profit and loss statement, nothing can prove that you're able to actually repay. So what exactly are they supposed to base their decision on? That's where the personal guarantee comes in. You're essentially saying, if my business can't pay it, I will. It's a form of collateral, and it shows the lenders that you're not just asking for money, you're standing behind your business. Now, some of you may be thinking, I can't give a personal guarantee because my credit is not up to par. And to that, I say, go fix your credit. And I know it sounds overly simple, but it's the truth. That's exactly what I had to do. In the meantime, there are other ways to start building. Get your business structured, and while you're doing that, put in the work to rebuild your personal credit. I provided templates, I provided methods, I provided dispute strategies. We also have a Discord group from My Success University. If you haven't joined yet, that is a great place to start. I just saw that one of the moderators on the channel just ran a coaching on Monday. So if you want some support from like-minded individuals that are doing the same thing, go check it out. The link is in the description. For me personally, it took me almost 3 years to come up with the process, 17 months to fix my credit, and another 8 months to build business credit and get approved for all of these cards. But I gave you everything I learned on this channel, and you've gotten it completely free. So if you really want to make a change, I know it's hard, but you don't have to tell me it's hard. Everything is possible and it can be done. And I provided as many tools as I can to make it a little bit easier for everyone else. It's just up to you whether or not you want to use those tools. Now, back to the personal guarantee. There's a difference between the ability to pay and the willingness to pay. And we're going to address that because, contrary to popular belief, there is an advantage to a personal guarantee that's heavily overlooked. So here's the advantage of a personal guarantee. No doc business loans and no doc business credit cards. These are designed for entrepreneurs who do not have extensive financial documents that lenders normally require. When you agree to a personal guarantee, you open up the door to stated income and no documentation approvals. That is huge. Just think about it for 1 second. Most new business owners, they don't have tax returns. They don't have profit and loss statements. They don't have business assets or payroll history. In the beginning, you're just getting started. But if you're willing to personally guarantee, you can project income that you have not made and get approved based off of what you can just state. That's the real advantage of a personal guarantee. You get access to capital when you don't have the financial documentation to back anything up yet. It's a bridge, and it's one that allows you to get funding while you grow into the kind of business that you one day hope can qualify for much larger loans. And banks really only care about 2 things. Number 1, can you pay me back? Your ability to pay back based on the income that you stated. Number 2, will you pay me back? That's your willingness to pay back, and that's based on your credit report. So if you state that you have the income to pay me back and your credit report shows that you have years of a great track record, your credit report tells your story. That's why even if you state that you make $500,000 a year, if you're not willing to pay people back, your willingness to pay will always be more important than your ability to pay. So I hope that makes sense. So even if your income is low, a great credit report can still get you approved. But the opposite is also true. A great income won't save you from a terrible credit report. And this is exactly why I focus heavily on mindset for this channel, because yes, I can show you how to fix your credit. Yes, I can show you how to structure your business. Yes, I could walk you through getting approved for multiple banks, but I try to do this in the easiest way possible. And when things come easy, people don't respect it. That's why I never offer credit repair services, because people don't understand how hard it is to fix even one credit report, let alone 20 or 100. It's not as simple as clicking a button or filling out a form, because if it was that easy, this wouldn't be a problem. So again, what I do give is the easiest methods that I've used myself. I give you the tools, I give you the steps, I give you the templates, I give you the information, but I give them to you to do yourself. Because the process of repairing your own credit or structure your own business forces you to develop better habits. You respect what you earn. If someone just hands you a perfect credit report, you'll ruin that within 1 year. But if you had to fight for every dispute, if you had to study, apply, and fail and try again, you're going to treat finances way differently from now on. And that's the real value. Now let's bring it full circle. Because we're able to use personal guarantees to get business credit cards, which are by far the easiest funding product to get, you don't need to have tax returns. You don't need to have profit and loss statements. You don't need bank statements. All you need is stated income and a solid personal credit profile. And while credit cards do come with higher interest rates than loans, many of them offer 0% APR introductory periods. That gives you breathing room to use funding strategically before interest actually kicks in. But don't let this be the end of your journey. Yes, stated income and no doc funding are amazing tools, especially when you're just getting started. But the goal is to evolve, to grow, and to become a business owner with documentation, financial records, and structuring so you can have access to even more funding. Next year will be my second year filing taxes. Once that happens, I'll be able to qualify for much larger loans and do a lot with if I so choose. And of course, that's the reason why you also want to focus on having a cash flowing business. Now, to wrap this all up, I want to leave you with the exact data points that made the difference in my own business credit journey. You want to have a credit score that's at least a 680, but if you're closer to a 750 or above, your chances go way up of getting approved. Now, I also want to tell you, I have a video that shows you how to structure your credit profile like a millionaire, because to be honest, your FICO score is not the most important thing. How your credit profile is being structured actually is way more important. I'm going to link that video right here. I recommend watching that because, again, having a structured credit profile is more important than having a high credit score. You should have at least 1 year and 6 months of average credit history. 2 years would be ideal, but I've been approved with way less. I would just say that 2 years is where things get a whole lot easier. If you get denied, don't panic. Just wait a few months, let your credit history mature, and try again. You also get adverse letters where they'll tell you exactly what happened. Those adverse letters are gold. They let you know exactly what was wrong and how you can fix it. You also want to have a good credit mix. That means having at least 2 revolving accounts, like 2 credit cards, maybe 4 installment loans. And then you can use things like credit builders. They come in handy. I've used Ava, Kovo, Kickoff. Things like that have helped me in the past, but you don't want to have too many fintech type accounts. You do want to have some from traditional banks and credit unions. And for a few more final notes, Chase and the GM card both report to the business credit bureaus. This means they help you build business credit as you use them. American Express, in my experience, has been one of the easiest major banks to get approved for. They don't require as deep of a relationship as the others do. However, Amex is heavily based on an algorithm. So how you spend on that card will determine exactly how much they let you use. And they are notorious for slashing your limits. Even if you have a charge card, they will reduce it if you spend more than you pay back. So be very careful with that. I have an entire video about American Express mistakes. You guys can watch that if you want more information. On the flip side of that, Navy Federal thrives on relationships. So if you have a credit score that's lower than 750, the best thing that you can do is open up an account with them, deposit money, let it sit for 90 days, build trust, and then apply. I would still recommend having a 680 experience score for that particular card. And once again, I just want to let you know, if you want more specific details on any one of these cards, I have a video on every single one individually, so I highly recommend you check that out if you want more details. This also applies to Chase as well. If your score is borderline, you want to build a relationship first, open a business checking account, open a business savings, fund it, let time work in your favor. These relationships really do matter. All right, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. So that's it. This is how I went from a $200 secured card to over $500,000 in combined credit. And you can watch my updated videos or even some of my previous videos. They'll let you know how I structured my business. They'll let you know how I fixed my credit, how I got approved for some of the biggest banks in the country. It took only 17 months once again to repair my credit, 8 months to build business credit. In total, that's just under 2.5 years. And I would do it again in a heartbeat because of what it gave me. I have a lot more freedom, control, and I have way more options. Because ultimately, this is not just about credit cards. It's not about stacking limits. This is about building something that is real, something sustainable, and hopefully something generational. So if you're starting out, don't be discouraged. I started in the same exact place. And honestly, probably worse off than a lot of people. I had a lot of charge-offs. Now I have access to funding I never thought possible, and you can definitely do this too. And if you stay on this journey with me, I'm going to show you exactly how to move beyond no-dot credit cards into real business funding with taxes, with payroll, with profit tracking, and everything else that comes with being a real business owner. I don't want you to cheat yourself. I want you to build this thing the right way. Thank you for watching. If this helped you, let me know in the comments. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I've got more content coming that's going to walk you through every step of this journey so you can win for real. And until next time, keep building. And once again, thanks for watching.